Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio. We're introducing a new sponsor today, and I'm really excited about them, to be honest with you, because I love products that have noble beginnings. They are driven by a mission, and it's not just to sell product and make money. And we're going to be talking today about a new energy drink that you should know about, because a lot of energy drinks out there are just not good for you. Massive amounts of caffeine, massive amounts of B vitamins. We're going to talk about that part. And things you don't need. Any energy drink you buy that has creatine in it, by the time you're drinking it, it's probably at least 50% creatinine, which is not good for your kidneys. Creatine converts to creatinine by way of hydrolysis. So if you put it in over a matter of time on the shelves, it turns to creatinine. And energy drinks have a place. I mean, a lot of people don't drink coffee. They grab an energy drink in the morning. You want to be drinking an energy drink that doesn't make you feel guilty because you know it's crap. And we're going to teach you about one today. Before we get started, we have to thank our title sponsor, and that is none other than Legendary Foods, makers of the Tasty Pastry, which took the world by storm. The Tasty Pastry started out as an upgrade to the Pop-Tart. They taste delicious. They taste like real pastry. It's not one of those things where you taste it and you go, oh, it really doesn't taste that great, but it fits my macros. It really does taste great. In fact, your kids will want them. Less than 1 gram of sugar, 4 to 5 net carbs. If you're a low carb person like me, 20 grams of high quality dairy protein. But now Legendary has released their new sweet rolls. Remember the Cinnabon that you used to buy at the airport, covered with sugar, warm, gooey, cinnamon dripping around the sides and in the swirl? Well, the new sweet rolls, you think you're eating one of those, but you're not. They come in chocolate, cinnamon, and berry. They're all amazing. You won't believe that there's less than 1 gram of sugar in each of them. Once again, 4 to 5 net carbs, 20 grams of high-quality protein. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary. Take a look at the sweet rolls and, of course, the Tasty Pastry. Use the code SHR10 to save 10% off, and that will let them know over at Legendary that you learned about them here on the show. And now, without further delay, we're joined by Salim Mekhmoukh and Karen Hecht, and we're going to be talking about how this product became and what the mission is. We're going to start with Salim. So, Salim, you have an interesting story. You were not looking to be in the energy drink business, right? You were traveling and something interesting happened, right?
Yes. And Carl, thanks for having us on the show, by the way. Appreciate that. I was actually traveling back home to Algeria to visit my parents. My parents had retired about 4 years ago. My dad was a veteran. He was, working for the U.S. military, and they had retired. So I ended up going back to Algeria to visit them. While I was there, I ran into an energy drink that was interesting, which my cousin works for a factory there that, you know, they make beverages. And I saw the energy drink. I had tasted it, brought it back home, tasted it. And I ended up meeting with one of the owners there, and I was starting to collaborate with him, bringing it to the US. So while we started talking, I came back to the US, going back and forth. And that's when COVID started appearing, and things kind of fell apart. And at that point, I had a business partner, Hisham Azhari, and he asked me, he's like, Salim, what are you doing? I was like, check out this energy drink. You know, I found it in Algeria. He had tasted it. He's like, that's pretty good. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to import it to the US. And things are just not working out. He was like, you know, he looks at me and he's like, let's research the energy drink world and see what's going on. So he came back to me a couple days later and said, hey, Salim, why don't we start our own? And I looked at him. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, you know, it's a growing market. I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, I need to do something different from the name to the ingredients that goes in it. And as time goes, obviously we got the lockdown of COVID. So we were definitely stuck in house, and we really put some effort and sweat into it, from the name to the ingredients, and just repeatedly just papers, drawing. And May 2nd, we had launched Motto Energy. So at that point, just to give a little bit of the background of Motto, we wanted to be different in the ingredients by providing a strong antioxidant. So we had ran into just getting online and searching to Astaxanthin. I know it's difficult to pronounce, but this Astaxanthin does wonders for the body. We found the antioxidant, reached out to Astaril, spoke to Michael and said, hey, I wanted to create an energy drink using Astaxanthin. He thought it was a genius idea. He's like, let me get back to you. Let me talk with my team. Talk with the team, came back. At the meantime, I started searching for a beverage chemist, which I ran into Lewis here in Atlanta. And I had told him about what we're trying to do. And he's like, this is very interesting. This can change the energy drink world. So Karen had reached out to us, and we started discussions about Astaxanthin. We started learning about it, doing research about it. And Asriel and Karen suggested that we put 4 milligrams Astaxanthin. She said that is plenty.
And Karen, that's a clinical dose, right? Karen, that is 4 milligrams. That's how strong this antioxidant is. That the clinical dose is 4 milligrams.
That's right. So we have about 78 human clinical studies on astaxanthin, and the majority of the ones to do with muscle performance, endurance, and recovery were at 4 milligrams. So that's the right dose.
And we're going to get into that science with you in a second, but I want to continue on this path here. So It wasn't just that you decided to add astaxanthin, which is a superior antioxidant, which has a lot of research behind it. You did 2 other things that I had to commend you on when we first talked. Energy drinks are launched today, literally weekly, and they just have more and more caffeine in them. Like Gatorade is a mainstream company. Their G-Force or whatever it's called, that it's got like 300 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous in it. The level of caffeine that's in these drinks really is ridiculous. And I'm actually getting ready to do a show because dopamine can actually be toxic at high levels. And I sincerely believe it's a combination of the high amounts of caffeine people are consuming today, but in concert with reckless amounts of B vitamins. So People think, oh, B vitamins are water soluble. All that means is they dissolve in water. That doesn't mean that if you take a mega dose of B12 and you urinate several times that it's out. In fact, what people don't realize is B12 and B6 have 28-day half-lives in the body. So when you take a dose of B12 or B6, and one of these stupid doses, like 5,000% of the B12, 6,000% of the B6, you're not just urinating that out throughout the day. It's going to stay in your body and it's going to bioaccumulate with the 5,000% B12 you have tomorrow and the 5,000%. These are reckless amounts of B vitamins, and people mistaken the use of the word soluble as retained. It's not. That B vitamin stays in your body for 28 days. That's the half-life. That means half of it is gone within 28 days amounts. So I commended you because you had a sensible 200 milligram dose of caffeine and you had a sensible B6 amount. What made you do that?
So Carl, on the caffeine, that's actually natural caffeine that we have. So it's natural green bean coffee. So with Motto, you're not going to get the jitters and you're not going to get the crash. And a lot of people don't know that caffeine is an actual antioxidant also.
Right.
So we decided to put 200 milligrams of caffeine because we want you to be able to drink 2. At this point, the FDA allows up to 400 milligrams of caffeine. But with Motto, with the antioxidant astaxanthin, it's more of a supplement that you can actually consume 2 a day.
Right.
And the B vitamins, we added the B vitamins because, our bodies need vitamins. There's, you have the people that are at the gym, the people that are working, the people that are in construction, whatever it is. So overall, we created a product that's a daily product for anybody. You don't have to be at the gym. You don't have to be a workout freak to drink this. It's a product made for everybody. It's a daily product.
There's sensible amounts. That's really the bottom line. Sensible amounts. And you still feel it. We're going to talk about the flavors. The flavors are outstanding. And I think the astaxanthin adds a little something to the flavors. I don't know if I'm correct, and we'll have Karen talk about that in just a minute. The flavors are outstanding. You don't get the rush. You don't get the jitters. You don't get, 200 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous hits you hard, but because this is naturally occurring caffeine in green coffee beans, it hits you slower. You feel it kick in slowly, but it's not like Bang, which is now off the market. Bang, they got sued and they're off the market, Bang energy drinks. But I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with the product. And I'm somebody who's very sensitive to caffeine. Karen, you're with Astareal, and your company is investing in science and leading the charge on astaxanthin standardized. What is astaxanthin standardized for? What are the things that people should be paying attention to when they're talking about astaxanthin?
Sure. So let me just introduce myself. I'm the scientific affairs manager at Astareal. So it's my job to, make our studies accessible to everyone and help great brands, leverage all the science that we have, which I think this product certainly has. So when we look for astaxanthin, we definitely want to make sure that we're looking for a natural source of astaxanthin that's made by algae, which is where our astaxanthin comes from. We grow our algae in Washington State, and this is just a microalgae that's found everywhere. It's ubiquitous in nature. And the way that it's used in nature is actually salmon consume it. They get astaxanthin from their diet, from various microalgae and other type of microbes as well. And it helps salmon muscle. So that's where the research all really started, was looking at the way natural astaxanthin supports salmon muscle in nature. And because we just don't eat very much salmon in our diet, supplementation is really important. And, research showed that astaxanthin can have benefits for human health and human muscles as well. So what we're looking for is a natural astaxanthin. We're looking for one that is clinically researched or rooted in science. And Astaril was the first one to come out to the market with natural astaxanthin for supplementation. The vast majority were the most studied brand of natural astaxanthin. So that's really helpful. And then you also want to look to see that the dosage that you have in your product is supported by clinical studies. So you're getting the right dose for the claimed benefits. Now, for supplements, you can make claims like that. And so you may see supplements at 4 milligrams a day saying endurance, recovery, and so on. But for foods and beverages, it's a different kind of regulation. And we have we're able to include 4 milligrams in energy drinks specifically as a source of astaxanthin as an antioxidant.
So if I'm understanding you, if this was a supplement, we'd be able to talk more about the science, but because it's a food, we can't. Is that right?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So you can't really make claims like structure function claims on foods and beverages, really, but on supplements you can.
Yeah, God forbid the FDA let people talk about the benefits of eating certain foods. I mean, it's just silly. But anyway, it was like cherries from like Minnesota or something like that are high in melatonin, and melatonin is an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory, but they couldn't make those claims. Walnuts couldn't use the word heart healthy, even though they have all the components of other things that are claimed to be. It's just semantics. How do carnivores feel about astaxanthin? Guessing they don't get much, do they?
So,
I guess if they eat salmon.
Yeah, so the best source of astaxanthin in our diet is wild sockeye salmon is the richest source of astaxanthin. So you would have to eat a 3.5 ounce fillet every single day to get the recommended dose, basically the 4 milligrams that you get in a can of Motto. But Motto tastes much better.
Right.
I think. So astaxanthin,
and it doesn't smell like fish.
Right, exactly. And so the
Yeah.
astaxanthin that's in Motto doesn't come from salmon, obviously. It comes, like I said, from algae. So it's a vegetarian and vegan friendly source. So that's something to keep in mind if you're vegan or vegetarian, or you have certain food preferences that don't, allow you to consume the places, the foods that astaxanthin is normally found in.
Mhm.
It's all aquatic animals. So it's all mostly salmon, caviar, crab, anything that's red that comes from the ocean, because astaxanthin is red. It contributes that color to the foods that you find, like lobster and things like that. So yeah, carnivores.
And that's why salmon has that nice red pink color from the astaxanthin. You're telling me.
Exactly. It actually physically binds to the salmon muscle, astaxanthin does. And so that's why it's that color. So when you're looking at farmed salmon, they have to add astaxanthin to their diet. And it's a synthetic form of astaxanthin that they add to their diet in order for the salmon fry to thrive and grow. And if you don't, then they come out this like grayish color instead of the red color, right? So astaxanthin really does give the color there. Yep.
Great. The gray salmon would be sold at McDonald's to go along with their gray mystery meat. But so astaxanthin, what about red snapper? I can't see whose Facebook this is because their security is not allowing me to see it. But what about red snapper? Are we assuming that red snapper has astaxanthin as well?
Yeah, great question. I know that all the salmonoid species have astaxanthin. Red snapper, I've never looked specifically, but presumably the red color in a lot of animals, like in flamingos, they can come from multiple
Shrimp.
types of carotenoids. So it doesn't have to be just astaxanthin necessarily, but It could be. I'd have to look up red snapper specifically. I haven't looked at that type of fish. So thanks for that question. I'll address that on our website. You can go back and look.
There you go. Chris K says, any negatives in consuming too much astaxanthin? Does it build up in your body?
Oh, great question. So it's a fat-soluble nutrient. So yeah, it takes time to build up to a beneficial dose. Most of the studies show you get a beneficial effect after 4 weeks of supplementation. So that's the studies are done on supplementation. And the limit for supplements is different from food. For supplements, it's up to 12 milligrams a day for continuous supplementation. For beverages, it's 4 milligrams per serving for energy drinks. So if you take too much all at once, you're just not able to really absorb a lot all at once. So it may just be excreted, where fat-soluble nutrients get excreted. But in terms of safety studies, we've done over 40 human clinical studies looking at safety with doses as high as 40 or 45 milligrams a day, and there were no adverse events reported. So that from those studies suggests that astaxanthin is safe, and Astaril submitted to the FDA safety portfolio, generally recognized as safe for food and bev as well.
These questions have to be submitted by my friend Joel Green. I'm guessing. I can't see your Facebook name, but I'm betting it's Joel Green. Does astaxanthin scavenge free radicals generated by fish oil? So apparently fish oil creates free radicals. And if so, then eating a piece of fish is really good. Better to get the fish oil from the salmon than from the capsule.
So maybe what is being asked here is about peroxyl radicals. So, oxidation is a chain reaction. So when our mitochondria produce energy, but they also produce free radicals as a byproduct. And because free radicals are really unstable molecules, they just attack and grab an electron from something nearby and potentially turn that into a free radical as well. So maybe what you're talking about here is if the molecule that you grab an electron from is a lipid, then you may create a peroxyl radical. And astaxanthin is very good at quenching those types. So it's especially good at singlet oxygen quenching, which is one of the first and most unstable types of free radicals that's produced by mitochondria. And that is when you look head to head, comparing how good is astaxanthin at singlet oxygen quenching compared to vitamin C, for example, it's 6,000 times stronger in vitro in a test tube. Wow. It gives you an idea of what a powerful antioxidant astaxanthin is. Yeah.
And that's Taylor C, C-E-E, and he is an avid viewer of the podcast. But for some reason, his security settings have changed for some reason, and I couldn't see his name. So the combination of astaxanthin, sensible caffeine, sensible B6. What else is in this product, Salim?
We added vitamin C, which is when we spoke to Karen, she suggested we definitely add the vitamin C to boost your immune system. We added the BCAAs, branch amino acids. So we provided that for anybody that's at the gym, right? And then you got your B3, B6, and B12 vitamins. So that's
but sensible amounts. You have sensible amounts of those B vitamins.
Correct. And we put making this product wasn't overnight. It was 2 years to come to a first sample, because we collaborated with Astaril a lot and said we wanted to do something different than just what's out there. So it took 2 years for us to put the right amounts. And there was emails going back and forth with Karen and her team and saying, hey, add this amount. And then we would go and make a batch and taste it. And we had to adjust the flavors about 5 times just because astaxanthin was so strong. Right.
It was a super fun process. I have to say, I felt like I was doing a wine tasting, and I'd send Salim all the tasting notes, and I had such a great time. Yeah.
Like, but Karen, how does it taste? She's like, oh, you got to go back to the drawing book. I'm like, oh, come on. but it was worth
Well,
every bit of it.
I'm actually going to make a suggestion that's going to send you back to the drawing board one more time. And Taylor C. picked up on it already. But BCAAs are so 1999. So BCAAs call the workers in to build the wall, but they have no bricks and concrete. EAAs have bricks and concrete. When you supply essential amino acids, you not only turn on the metabolic and what do I want to say? The anabolic machinery, but you give your body also the essential amino acids that it takes to build, to turn on protein synthesis and actually have it make muscle. So I would like you to consider the next generation to go to EAAs and be way ahead of everybody else. BCAAs are really passe now, because now that we understand essential amino acids better, so you need to look at that, and you're probably going to have to start tasting because the leucine component of it tastes terrible. So you'll have to find a way to
full confidence. They knocked it out of the park with the flavors, I have to say. And astaxanthin, because it comes from algae, so it's astaxanthin together with naturally occurring algal oils. Those oils definitely have like that seaweed flavor, and so they had to be able to overcome that. But BCAAs are also very bitter, and so you have to overcome that too. And they did a great job. I have to say, you can't taste the astaxanthin at all. And I'm very sensitive and attuned to astaxanthin flavor. And I think they really did amazing. Yeah.
I know. And actually, I think they contributed to the flavor. It contributed to the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel makes the drink feel a little buttery.
Yeah,
and I think that might be from the astaxanthin.
It is. Yeah. It is actually. Yeah. I've heard others say that before. Sorry, Salim.
And as this product was being made, and when we got to the 5 flavors, I was out promoting the product and handing them out to people. Just give me your feedback. A lot of them look at me and they're like, "How is this an energy drink?" And when I ask them, I'm like, "Why do you say that?" They're like, "This has no aftertaste of any kind of chemical." And astaxanthin is not a chemical. They're shocked how smooth the taste is. Some people are like, "I can drink this as daily basis as a juice or with my meal." But obviously I tell them, "Hey, it contains caffeine, natural caffeine. Don't do it at night." But they're so shocked of the flavors, and our flavors, they're different. What's out there. So when it comes to the taste, you're going to be very, very shocked. And I'm not saying that because it's my product. I drink it every day. When females.
I told you. I said every day I tried a different flavor, and every day that became my favorite flavor, because all of them tasted great. The strawberry tasted great. I mean, the flavors are out of this world. So if drinkability is hinged on flavor for you, for whoever you are, you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be disappointed with the problem. In fact, I say if you are currently using energy drinks, you just need to switch. Just switch to this product, because it's going to be better for you. It's going to be healthier for you. You're not going to get the crash from it. And you're getting so much more than you're going to get in any other energy drink out there. It's just ridiculous. Let me put this up real quick. So we have a special offer for our audience. If you go to shrnetwork.biz/motto, it's MADO, and use the code SHR, you'll get 10% off. And if you buy, now keep in mind, everybody, gas prices are through the roof. Shipping sometimes is more expensive than the product you're buying. And when you're shipping a liquid, that's the heaviest burden on shipping costs. But if you buy 2 cases, you not only get 10% off, but you'll get free shipping. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you buy an energy drink every morning, that's $30 a month. And how many are in a case, Salim?
12, and we have 5 flavors. We have orange cream, strawberry lemon, berry blast, coconut lime, and mango apricot.
So there you go. You buy 2 cases. The 2 cases will get you barely through the month if you take one a day, and you'll save a ton. Not only 10% off, It's a fantastic product, but free shipping on 2 or more cases. So again, go to shrnetwork.biz/motto, and that's spelled MADO. Use the code SHR and save big time. We're going to take one quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more. We're going to get into the science, some more of the science that we can talk about astaxanthin specifically. Stay with us. Remember those rectangular toasted pastries you used to love when you were a kid? Well, Legendary Foods has just made them better. The new cake-style tasty pastry is like nothing you've ever had before. With 20 grams of high-quality protein and less than 1 gram of sugar, you'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use the code SHR10 to save 10% off your purchase of tasty pastries. Now available in cookies and cream, red velvet cake, birthday cake, blueberry, strawberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and hot fudge sundae. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use code SHR10 today.
Dogs should be powered by fat and protein, not carbs. That's why Vision Pet makes low-carb, ketogenic dog food for dogs of all breeds and life stages. From kibble to freeze-dried and even low-carb treats, all Visionary Pet recipes are very low-carb, ketogenic, and 100% real meat protein. Shop now and use code SHR for 20% off your first order today. Your dog deserves the lifelong benefits of optimal nutrition. Make the switch to Visionary and see why smart dogs eat low carb.
There are lots of concerns about food supply today. That's why you need White Oak Pastures. White Oak Pastures will deliver food right to your doorstep. You don't even have to go out and be disappointed by shopping in grocery stores. The finest beef, pork, lamb, duck, and more can be found at White Oak Pastures. And now they even have seafood. And best of all, White Oak has a negative carbon footprint, which means that you don't have to feel guilty for eating your ribeye. Go to shrnetwork.biz/white oak and use the code superhuman to save 15% off. Merrick Health is a premium telehealth platform that connects customers with partnered providers from the comfort of your home. Merrick provides concierge service with your very own patient care provider as your health advocate. You'll go over all your needs and goals, from improving sexual function, hair loss prevention, increased muscle, fat loss, and overall improved performance. Prescribed treatment options can be ordered and shipped directly to you if you meet the requirements, all from the comfort of your home. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Merrick Health. That's MARAKHEALTH, and order your comprehensives and get 10% off with code SHR. Don't forget to add the lab analysis to have results reviewed with potential over-the-counter supplements or treatment recommendations. That's shrnetwork.biz/Merrick Health and use code SHR at checkout, or order your own desired labs with code SHR and get 10% off your first lab order.
This is the Superhuman Channel. Evolution just got kicked up a notch.
Welcome back. So we're getting questions on Facebook. Let me see. There's a couple good ones, actually. What is sweetener? What is the sweetener?
Sucralose.
Say that again. You broke up. You dropped out for a second.
Sucralose. That's what we use as a sweetener. It's FDA approved. So that's what we had used on the product. The product has 0 sugar. Literally put 10 calories just to be safe, but our chemist is there's no calories in the product. One key point that I wanted to throw out there is Motto, the liquid is red. So the only reason it's red is we didn't add any artificial flavors or anything. And I know Karen loves this. It's red because of the antioxidant, Astaxanthin, the microalgae antioxidant. That's why the beverage is red. So we have no fruit juice in it. We have no artificial flavors. We're providing a product as natural as we can get it. But to answer the sweetener, it is sucralose.
Sucralose.
Are they available in convenience? Sucralose, yeah. Are they available in grocery stores or any place yet?
Actually, we just launched May 2nd. So we're definitely a new product, but we are working to get into convenience stores and C stores as gas stations in the next year of the 2023. So we're definitely going to be in stores, but right now we're just online. That we're selling the product, and it's kind of weird because. Not weird. It's a good thing because 40% of my buyers are females, which is huge because it's a 16-ounce can, right?
Right.
So you don't find females usually drinking a 16-ounce can. But to answer the question again, we're not in stores yet.
Okay. So what studies can we talk about, Karen?
Well,
I know that do we think that what happens to the salmon muscle is going to happen to human muscle too?
So the studies that we've done in humans to date suggest that yes, and there are studies done in trained athletes, in untrained individuals, in young people, and in older people as well. The studies that I think are relevant to understanding why astaxanthin might be in motto are the ones, of course, that were done at 4 milligrams, and most of those were done in trained athletes. So we're talking about a really awesome study that was done in recreationally competitive cyclists who were doing a 20-kilometer timed trial, supplementing with 4 milligrams astaxanthin for 4 weeks. And they had a significant improvement in the time that it took to complete the time trial in the astaxanthin group compared to the placebo group. So the astaxanthin group, the Astaril astaxanthin group actually shaved 2 minutes off their time, whereas only 19 seconds in the placebo group. And they also increased their power output significantly over the course of supplementation in the astaxanthin group, but not in the placebo group. So the astaxanthin group increased their power output by 20 watts, which is a lot for a cyclist. So that study was actually, is one that we like to highlight as a really great performance marker for, related to endurance and sustained energy. And the reason we think that works is that the mechanistic studies suggest astaxanthin works in mitochondria to help protect mitochondria and support bioenergetics, support fat utilization for energy, and that all is about endurance and sustained energy. We also have studies in soccer players that looked at muscle damage, also at 4 milligrams. And in that study, they saw significant reduction in muscle damage markers in training soccer players who were supplementing. So reduced creatine kinase and aspartate aminotransferase. Those are markers of muscle damage that we can just measure in blood.
Right.
And if we can, help these training athletes experience less muscle damage, then that means they can train more consistently, hopefully, and improve their performance and improve their recovery. So that's the idea, and it seems to work really well, especially for endurance-trained athletes.
Yeah, what people probably don't understand is if you are a soccer player or even a hockey player, slowing down and stopping is what damages the quadriceps. You move at a fast clip, and that's akin to like when you run down a hill, it's like keeping yourself from falling or picking up speed too quickly. That damages the quads real fast. So that eccentric portion of the movement. So remember the study that came out that said vitamin C mitigated the adaptation of mitochondria to performance, to running, and do you remember that?
I remember,
and I don't think that's ever been.
Yeah. There was a vitamin E study. The vitamin E, I think there was a study that showed that it had a negative effect on adaptation to exercise. So there's this ongoing debate about are antioxidants beneficial for exercise adaptation or not. Yeah. It's a really good question.
And it was just that one study. No one ever reproduced that study. And it would stand to reason that the mitochondria is spinning off so much oxidative stress that having something quenching those antioxidants, using an antioxidant to quench, would be the sensible thing. In fact, Aubrey de Grey, the man who fostered the mitochondrial theory of aging, thinks that everybody should be taken to keep your mitochondria working properly. So, what would you say to people who would say, "Well, I don't want to take that. It's an antioxidant. It's going to stall my progress. I'm not going to see the adaptation I'm looking for."
I would say not all antioxidants are the same, and this is still a very much an open question in research. And what I would say too is that free radicals by themselves aren't bad. So what people are talking about when they're talking about adaptation to exercise and oxidative stress is that free radicals actually do play a role when they're found at physiological levels in signaling pathways that promote adaptation to exercise. But when you have too many free radicals, it actually inhibits force generation. So it's not free radicals by themselves that are the issue. It's finding the right balance. And so, who are you? How old are you? How active are you? What's your occupation? Are you a first responder? Are you someone who's unaccustomed to exercise? All these people will respond to exercise differently and have a different sort of antioxidant capacity. So your body is always producing free radicals, and at a physiological level, they have beneficial effects on immune function and adaptation to exercise. But that's because your body has an antioxidant capacity to, keep those free radicals in check. In certain situations, if you're a trained endurance athletes, if you're like the soccer players in the study undergoing, 90 days of intense training, or if you're unaccustomed to exercise, or if you're running downhill with a lot of the eccentric, muscle damage inducing type of exercise, then you may benefit from dietary antioxidants to help restore that balance if your body's own antioxidants can't keep up. And we do have studies that show, like in the training paramedic study, that training together with astaxanthin has produced a better effect of training compared to exercise alone. So in that study, the astaxanthin group that was training improved the number of weighted squats they could do significantly more than the placebo group. And also there's a study in older individuals, the higher dose of astaxanthin compared to what's in mono, but still looking at in older individuals who have difficulty adapting to exercise, the ones that were supplementing with astaxanthin combined with exercise did better than the exercise group alone with the placebo. So what's happening, we think, in that case, and this is just a theory, is that as you age, your level of oxidative stress, your basal level goes up. And so your body kind of can't differentiate the signal to noise when you're trying to train and you're trying to build those muscles. They're not like responding to that as well because your basal level of oxidative stress is higher than in a young person.
And that same thing with inflammation. Young people don't benefit from taking an anti-inflammatory post-workout. In fact, it will stall the improved response that they're looking for. But elderly people do. And that's because the level of inflammation in an older person, it's like there's this constant smoldering fire. And then you go work out, and then there's a little pip over here, but your body doesn't pay attention to it because it's got this house on fire. But when you use NSAIDs or even fish oil or things that are anti-inflammatory in nature, older trainees benefit from that. Younger trainees don't. They don't see the supercompensation that they're looking for. So you're right. It depends on the environment in the body when you're applying these things. It's not one size fits all. Is astaxanthin highly bioavailable? Like it's like a lot of things nowadays, you have to have biperine in it or something like that to make sure you're getting what you're taking. Is it highly bioavailable?
So it's a fat-soluble nutrient, so you have to keep that in mind. The nice thing about a fat-soluble nutrient is that Well, not the nice thing, let me rephrase that, but the challenging thing is that it's hard to get an oil into a ready-to-drink beverage like Motto, right? So what was done to do that, to be able to have
Right,
astaxanthin
right.
in a beverage, we had to emulsify it, and that's kind of what happens when you eat fats in your stomach and in your gut anyway. That helps to increase absorption, increase bioavailability. So in this formulation in Motto, the absorption would be pretty good because it's already kind of done part of the work for you. But always when people are taking the astaxanthin soft gels, because it's such a small amount and it's an oil, I like to remind people that it's good to take it together with a meal within 30 minutes after a meal to help with that emulsification and absorption, in that case, to prime your gut for absorption. But with Motto, you already have a large volume and it's already kind of emulsified to get it into the energy drink in the first place. So that's an advantage, I would say.
What do you use as an emulsifier, Salim?
I'm sorry?
Or do you have what do you use as an emulsifier to get the astaxanthin to completely dissolve, if you will, in the drink?
Well, it comes as a liquid.
Oh, okay. So you guys, it's already,
so it goes from aceryl as a powder, and they make it into a liquid. So they send it to us in jars, and it has to stay in a cool environment. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Karen.
Yeah, totally.
But it has to be refrigerated, so it's always fresh. And when we go into manufacturing, it's already dissolved. So they just.
I would say this is a super cool evolution, because traditionally the way you find astaxanthin is in just a standalone soft gel. Like, it's been around, this ingredient has been around for over 30 years, but having it in a beverage form like this, that's pretty new, and definitely new to the United States. But this ingredient is a lot better known in Asia. And so you'll find it in shots and yogurts and things like that in Japan, for example. But here in the US, I think this Motto's making a splash, pun intended, because it's it's not something that we've seen before. It's really just a standalone soft gel. So this is a much more dynamic delivery. You can combine it with other functional ingredients. Salim mentioned vitamin C in there. I love having astaxanthin together with vitamin C, because you're getting a water-soluble antioxidant together with a fat-soluble antioxidant. And we know our cells are made of both water and fat, so you're getting more complete antioxidant coverage that way. So yeah, I think this is a really nice new delivery.
So is there an emulsifier in play here, like lecithin or something like that, to get it to be in a liquid base?
Yeah. So, but remember, there's only 4 milligrams in the whole can. So basically there's not any significant loss.
Yeah. We have to take a break. Let me put the ad back up. We have a couple more questions that I want to ask, and a couple really good ones from the audience here. So let me just put this ad back up. So if you want to try Motto, first of all, do you have a variety pack, Salim?
No,
like
that, because it's 12 per can. We haven't. We don't have a variety pack yet. We're planning to work on more flavors where we can offer variety pack, but as of now, we don't. It's pretty much every flavor in a case itself.
And so, do you recommend one flavor? If somebody says, "Oh, I want to try this. I want to buy 2 cases," what 2 flavors would you recommend to start with?
Okay, so for me, that's. I can't say because it's my product. I like all the flavors, but if I had to choose 2, strawberry or lemon, it's delicious. It's on point. It's amazing taste. My second flavor.
That was I tried. That's the first one.
That's the first one. My second flavor would be the coconut lime. It's really, really refreshing, especially in the summertime. it's strong on the coconut, and then you get a little bit of the taste on the lime down a little bit in your throat. But that would be my second favorite. Orange cream is right up there too.
Okay.
Berry blast.
I strawberry, the strawberry lemon. Right.
Strawberry lemon is
strawberry lemon was the first one I had out of. Yeah, it was the best. I really do believe that. Everybody loves strawberry. Biz/Motto, MADO. Use the code SHR. Get 10% off. Buy 2 cases or more and get free shipping. Doesn't get much better than that. Let's do this. Let's take our last commercial break. We'll be right back with more of Super. P3OM from Bioptimizers is a patented prebiotic and probiotic supplement with Lactobacillus plantarum OM. It has now been upgraded to P3OM 2.0 with the addition of a superfood formulation that makes it 2 times stronger, as well as optimizes L. plantarum's strength. So it's more powerful than ever, which means that not only will it help you completely digest all animal proteins, it also reduces cortisol, causes deep relaxation and better sleep, and reduces stress. Go to shrnetwork.biz/P-OM today and use the code SHR10 to save 10% off. Never before has a product been so appropriately named as Botanic Tonics Feel Free. This plant-based elixir combines a variety of different effective compounds, all from raw plant materials that at different doses provide you with completely different experiences. A third of a bottle puts you in the zone and makes you very focused and is ideal for a non-stimulating pre-workout. It also has a mild analgesic effect for us older lifters who have soreness and little pains and aches that keep us from training as ferociously as we want. A half a bottle will create a mild euphoric effect that will allow you to forego consuming alcohol, but still be socially lubricated and have fun. I have never had a product deliver its name the way Botanics Feel Free does, and I won't ever be without it, and you shouldn't either. Go to shrnetwork.biz/feelfree and use the code SHR40 for 40% off your first order. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. There have been no real breakthroughs in resistance training for over 200 years. Whether it's pulleys or free weight, they all depend on gravity and the angles associated with gravity's effect directly on the weight. All of that has changed with the ARX machine. ARX stands for adaptive resistance. The ARX machine uses a 25 horsepower motor. You are literally fighting against a 25 horsepower motor. So every single rep is your 1 rep maximum at that moment in time. But ARX leverages another technique that has been known to produce rapid muscle gains and strength, and that is it leverages the eccentric or negative portion of the rep, which completely blows every other exercise and resistance training product out of the water. Go to shrnetwork.biz/ARX and discover the future of resistance training. I would easily say that I am the hugest proponent you will ever meet to doing anything that will improve my sleep. And that's because sleep is linked to just about every metabolic disorder we see in our population today. One of the easiest things you can do to improve the quality of your sleep is to get a pillow that can be shaped into the form factor that allows you to get your best night's sleep. And that is MyPillow. I've been sleeping with MyPillow for a few years now, and I can tell you that when I have to travel and stay in hotels, I don't get a good night's sleep because I don't have MyPillow with me. Right now, you can save up to 60% off of offer to improve the quality of your sleep at shrnetwork.biz/mypillow when you use the code SHR. Or you can call toll-free 800-889-49. And remember to use code SHR to save up to 60% off of everything at their website.
This is the Superhuman Channel, where brawn and brain meet.
Welcome back. So let's see. We have a couple questions we have to get to. Sean Watson says he's going to give it a try. He has to train late in the evening, and he wants to use an energy drink, so he's going to try it. I want to get to this question too because this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think Sean had placed an order. So thank you, Sean. And absolutely give me your feedback at info-modenenergy.com. If you have any questions, I would love your feedback, but thank you for the support.
Thank you. Thank you. Sean's a longtime listener. I don't remember him not listening to the show. And I love the support. Thank you. So Taylor C says, I've heard this about vitamin C. They refrain from taking it post-workout. So let me tell you a story. Anybody who knows Mike O'Hearn knows that he just keeps getting better. He keeps getting stronger. And I'm going to have him on the show very soon because he does two things that fascinate me. The first one is Mike takes 10 grams of vitamin C a day in divided doses. So if, in fact, vitamin C hindered the desired effects in performance and musculature, a supercompensation of muscle, Mike wouldn't be as big and strong as he is. And I know people are going to say, yeah, but he uses drugs. Let me tell you something. As a drug user, I never saw a 10 milligram bottle of testosterone lift any weights. It may help you recover faster, but you still have to do the work. And in fact, I would say that those of us who used, now I'm literally on HRT, 250 milligrams a week of testosterone. Those of us who have used feel a greater sense of responsibility to train hard because we are using these drugs, and the jury is still out on some of them. There's a lot of old bodybuilders and old powerlifters out there that are still ticking along. But using drugs doesn't make up for laziness, lack of dedication to your diet plan, which is, sometimes 5-6 meals a day. None of that can be attributed to the drugs. And Mike O'Hearn is going to come on because he does two things that fascinate me. I've always had this theory that if you train, and we use the word training, we don't use the word working out because everybody in this audience has goals to add strength and add muscle from week to week. And if you train and then have a post-workout meal and then take a nap, I sincerely believe there's some magic in that. Not to be confused with eating late and going to sleep, which totally destroys autophagy and wreaks a lot of problems. That's one of the things that Dr. Dale Bredesen makes his Alzheimer's patients stop doing. They stop eating 3 hours before bed. But taking a nap, training it early in the morning, you have a pre-workout meal. Within an hour and a half, you train. And when we train in this audience, we exhaust, we crush ourselves. Then you have a meal as your post-workout meal, and you take a nap. Well, O'Hearn has been doing this for like decades. And I sincerely believe that's part of the magic of his resilience of staying strong, injury-free. He trains at 4:00 in the morning. And then he comes home, and now they have the baby. They have a young son now. And he comes home, and he has his post-workout meal, and he goes to sleep. I don't mean sleep for hours. Maybe he sleeps for 20 minutes, maybe an hour. That's all. I think there's some magic in that. And this idea that that vitamin C will hinder your gains. I know another athlete, a former Olympian, Porter Cottrell, that still takes 6 grams of vitamin C a day and has been doing it for like 30 years now. So I think there's much to do about nothing with this idea that quenching free radicals is somehow going to stop you from making progress. And, we have these loans. Go ahead, I'm sorry, please. No, go.
I'll also add that, how much vitamin C are you talking about in this case? Because this one can of Motto has 91 milligrams of vitamin C. That's as much as you get in an orange. So we're not talking like grams here, So I don't think
it's one can. I was going to put that out there. It's enough for your body to absorb, but we didn't put a lot of it for it to have an effect like that. Anything.
That's a recommended daily intake for vitamin C for a male. I think for a woman it's 75 milligrams.
60. Oh, is it 60? I thought it was 60. Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this idea that taking antioxidants is going to somehow derail. In fact, I can't think of his name, but he wrote a book called Anti-Fragile. He was on my show probably 8 or 9 years ago. And he talked about the fact that vitamin C doesn't work as an antioxidant when you take it, unless it's liposomal. It is a hormetic, that taking the vitamin C causes the body to respond by then recycling the vitamin C so that it functions. I don't know. His name was Nassim. I can't think of his name now, but you know, I've done 3,000 shows. I forget names once in a while. But yeah, I don't believe the whole antioxidants are bad for you if you want to make progress. I just don't. I hope the audience gives this a try. What's that?
It's just more nuanced than that, again, because all antioxidants have different places in the body where they go, different free radicals they have a preference for. And, honestly, antioxidants are not just antioxidants. As you said, with vitamin C, it has other essential functions in the body to support collagen structure, immune function. Astaxanthin, too, has other things that interacts with. It actually boosts endogenous antioxidant expression in the body. So there's other things going on other than the direct antioxidant functions. Right.
Well, I hope the audience embraces this product. I really like it myself.
And Carl, we definitely need to talk about, we put hydration and electrolytes, as me and you spoke a couple weeks ago, that people don't drink enough water. In this can, I'm providing you with electrolytes and hydration at the same time. So you'll feel hydrated while you're drinking Motto. So that's some point that we, need to touch at some point.
No, let's talk about it right now. We have time. So what minerals do you have in Motto to answer the hydration question?
On the minerals, I mean, we had put
electrolytes. Right. Yeah, that electrolytes are usually minerals, but which ones do you have in there?
We put we put K, M, and G, and Na.
Sodium, magnesium, potassium.
Correct.
Right.
So
potassium's an important one that people overlook. Potassium, regulating adequate amounts of potassium has been shown to negate all of the supposed dangers of sodium. People with sodium and water retention typically don't have enough potassium in their diet. So that's fascinating. Yeah, electrolytes are important. And let's not forget, catecholamines like caffeine, they drive mildly. They drive your body to become depleted. So having that in there, it kind of makes up for that. That it's a diuretic. Caffeine is a mild diuretic, and so having those minerals in there is important. That's good. Well thought out. It's well thought out. It tastes great. It has sensible amounts of caffeine, sensible amounts of B vitamin, and it has astaxanthin, which you will probably not getting adequate amounts in your diet today unless you're eating. And I just said that the caffeine is a diuretic. Unless you're eating a nice piece of salmon every single day. And let's face it, even if we want to, that's not always possible. So there's your astaxanthin. I want to thank both of you for being on the show. I want to thank Salim for being a sponsor. And you know what I say all the time? The sponsors make this show possible. If you missed yesterday's show on plasmapheresis, we talked about a legitimate anti-aging process. You're not going to hear this on Dave Asprey. It's not about magic beans or special pills. It's legitimate. And in fact, what we learned yesterday is plasmapheresis is a very expensive process that truly does reverse the markers of aging, and quickly, in as little as 2 sessions. But having plasmapheresis done is very, very expensive because it's an invasive process. They have to remove blood, spin it, take the plasma out, put the red blood cells in, and then put saline and proteins back in to replace the plasma. And what Dr. Conboy said yesterday, which was wonderful, she said, well, if someone doesn't want to go for the whole plasmapheresis, you can just donate plasma regularly. Plasma replenishes in 24 to 48 hours. It's basically saline and proteins that an albumin, which is a protein that the liver puts back into your body within 24 to 48 hours. And what I found out this morning is they will pay me to donate plasma. I thought I was going to have to get my doctor to write me a prescription. So I have a therapeutic phlebotomy prescription now. I donate blood every 2 months to keep iron levels in check and other things. And I believe strongly that the answer to aging well is regular blood donations. But now I think we found out that it's more important to get plasma out of your body, because that's where all of the broken proteins stay, and they are signaling your body to age. We learned that from the Conboy lab at UC Berkeley yesterday. Who talks about these things? Who are you going to find that does this kind of show? If you want to reward this show for the things that it does, patronize the sponsors. You know, you're probably going to get up tomorrow morning and run to a convenience store and pick up some Rain or Celsius or one of these other complete bullshit energy drinks with way too much B vitamins and way too much caffeine. Just plan ahead. Order a couple cases of Motto. Try it. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee it. You won't be disappointed. And I'm going to put the banner up one more time so people can see the offer. You can go to shrnetwork.biz/Motto, and that's MADO. Use the code SHR for 10% off one case, or buy 2 or more cases and get free shipping as well. I mean, it's a wonderful deal, and it's a much better energy drink than you're buying now. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So check it out. Patronize the sponsors. Show them some love. They make this show possible, and we are helping millions of people around the world with the content that we produce. I want to thank you both for being here. Salim, thanks for being a sponsor. Karen, thanks for taking time out of your day to tell us about this. And let's see. Yeah, I have a show tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about blood flow restriction bands. We have the folks from BFR coming on to talk about blood flow restriction. I use it to train with. It's a magnificent technology if you want to build muscle faster. And we'll be talking about that tomorrow. And also, we'll be letting you have a special offer if you want the BFR bands. See you tomorrow. Thanks for being here today, guys. And we'll see everybody tomorrow with more Superhuman Radio.